The war in Iran is putting the world's aluminum supply at risk. Chase, Wilsey, sorry, Chase was still on the tease before reading that. I'm so distracted. I was telling you when you said, how are you? I said, I'll be better when all of this is over, because literally everything feels like it's been uprooted. Price of gas is up, price of everything is up. And now aluminum, where did this come from?
Yeah, I mean, the thing you have to understand, obviously, is the Middle East is a big supplier of oil and gas. We know that, and we are seeing that as consumers. You know, the national price for gasoline is around $4. I keep seeing, obviously, here in California and San Diego, things in the $5s, mid-5s, close to $6. I think I saw one station at like $6.39 over the weekend. You're like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. The price of aluminum, though, a lot of people aren't as aware of, because it doesn't, I'm going to say, slap you in the face initially. Aluminum, though, about 21% of what is called unwrought aluminum, that's the raw, unprocessed aluminum, is produced in the Middle East, and 13% of processed aluminum, so it's into sheets and things of that nature, is also produced there. So what is happening, obviously, with the Strait of Hormuz being closed is now you're not able to get that supply out as efficiently, so the price of aluminum has now skyrocketed to near 4-year highs, or actually 4-year highs, which is, again, not hitting us initially, but it is going to have a big impact down the road potentially.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit more about that impact, because you see this stuff, it's going to start to trickle in from different places. As you said at the beginning, the gas is the most evident, which I saw, by the way, up until like the 7s. So I was like, what is that? But the fertilizer, the aluminum, there's so many other things that are brought through that Strait of Hormuz that at some point that trickle effect will hit our pocketbooks.
Correct. I mean, you obviously know kind of the big ones with aluminum is going to be your cans. So the price of beer, the price of soda, they're not going to jack up those prices right away. But if this lasts, eventually those companies are going to say, gosh, you know, the price of aluminum's gone up, let's say 20% for us to produce it. We're going to have to pass some of that cost along to the consumer.
How long do you think it will be before we start to see the aluminum effect kick in with prices?
Well, the big question is, what is China going to do here? And what I mean is China is not a big producer of oil and gas, so they can't really help in that. They do have a huge glut of inventory that may be beneficial in that space. But with aluminum, they have a bunch of what is known as idle smelters. So smelters is how we produce this aluminum. What could happen is China said, well, we've kind of wanted to constrain capacity because we haven't been able to make profits off of those idle smelters. Well, now as the price of aluminum goes up, they might flip that switch back on and start producing more aluminum. If China comes back online, well, then that will help the price of aluminum as well. So it's not just obviously the Strait of Hormuz that's having a big impact, but there are different spigots that can come on and maybe not push the price all the way back down to where it was, but at least alleviate some of the concern and help with that burden.
You talk about this concern with the Strait of Hormuz. Let's say this comes to some type of resolution anytime in the near future. How long will it take to get back to normal, to whatever that normal would be?
And normal is an interesting word, right? I mean, the price of oil and commodities are always going to be fluctuating. I mean, you know, are we going to go back to 65? I don't know if I'd say 65 is even what I'd call normal, right? But we could see 70, 75 as we start to progress through the end of the year for oil. The thing that I look at is now we are seeing Iran is allowing through what they're saying non-friendly ships are actually passing through, which is
non-friendly ships?
I'm sorry, friendly ships.
Okay, friendly ships are passing.
Friendly ships are passing through. We have seen, you know, countries like China and India kind of get some benefit there. If we start to see that flow pick up, again, it's not going to fix it completely, but it will help alleviate some of that pressure. And, you know, we do know the U.S. and Iran are talking, at least according to U.S.
According to U.S., they're talking.
They're
according
talking.
To Iran, they're not.
Yeah, exactly. So I do believe they are talking. There has been other agencies, the Wall Street Journal, other companies like that have confirmed those talks. We do know as well that Iran is kind of creating a lot of issues within the Middle East. So you have now the Saudis, UAE, they're not happy with what Iran is doing. I think you're going to start to see other countries put pressure on them to kind of fix the situation. So my hope is that within a few weeks, we should start to see things start to normalize a little bit, but then you have to turn the spigots back on. That's going to take time as well. So I think it's still going to be at least a few months out until things come back to a more normalized level that we saw before the crisis.
Chase Wilsey, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Heather, we'll get over to you.
Fox 5 Weather, sponsored by your